just, they actually got rescheduled two times, because where was the conference meet? In Dallas, where the worst storm ever, that those conditions. So they rescheduled twice, and his taper had to get changed twice. So you know how that is, but he loves every minute of it. He's doing well.
Good for him.
Thank you.
All right, folks. Hey, welcome to Wooster Rotary. We've had an interesting little introduction here. You can see kind of everybody getting the stage set for today's speaker. And we appreciate you being with us today. We have almost 50 people on the line, so that's good to see. And there's more that are coming on right now. So happy March, March 1st, 2021. Hopefully everybody's having a good week so far. A couple of announcements we wanted to share with you. And Phil Mariola, past president, past district governor, shared with me some really interesting information. As of today, Tuesday, March 1st, 1921, marks the first year that Wooster Rotary was actually an active and official club. So today is our 100th anniversary. So happy 100th to Wooster Rotary. Today is the official 100th marking of our club being an active organization. So happy anniversary to Wooster Rotary. If you saw the email that was sent out at first thing this morning, some sad news to share that our own Pete Bogener passed yesterday at the young age of 100 years old. So Pete was not only a great philanthropist, both monetarily and then just through donation of time and his workers' time through the community. But folks, for those who don't know, and if I know many of you do know, that Pete was a Wooster Rotary member for 70 years. So he's one of the longest standing members when you look at history of the club in the nation. So I know Pete was struggling the last couple of years, obviously health-wise, but even this past summer, we were able to give him a plaque. Greg Long and myself were able to meet him and his family at the Wooster Country Club and say thank you so much for your service and give him a plaque of his 70 years of service. So folks, if you don't mind, if we could honor Pete with just a moment of silence, please, that would be greatly appreciated. Okay, thank you. Now, is there any other announcements that need to be shared with the club today? If so, now would be the time to share those. Any announcements that we have? Okay.
Justin?
Yes, go ahead, Sandra.
I just wanted to say that I thought the insert on Wooster Rotary that we got was incredible. I loved it. It was very well done. So kudos to all of you who did that.
I will tell you that we have about 200 copies. We do have hard copies. Those will, if you want them now, that's fine, but they will be made available when we can get reconvene in person as well. So that is an archive piece. And kind of piggyback again, Sandra, off you, hats off to Bob Gorman. Bob Gorman, who headed up that publication. I thought it was extremely, extremely well done. So thank you for bringing that up, Sandra. Well done. And then how about any guests that we have today? Would anybody like to share any guests that are on the line today? Ron, you don't have a guest? Steve isn't on yet?
Don't wait for him. Don't worry.
Exactly.
Steve Matthew was coming, but Chris said earlier she's not sure he's going to show up. So I think he's taking the opportunity to go to lunch with somebody he likes.
Good day.
That's awesome.
Hey, Justin, this is Don
So
Noble.
if there are,
My dad, David Noble, is a guest today. So
Oh,
good friends of the Matthews.
Oh, that's awesome. David's on the line. David, welcome to Worcester Rotary.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, there he is. There he is, David. What part of the country are you in, David?
We're in Worcester.
Okay, I didn't know if you were maybe down south, so.
Oh, we wouldn't do that.
Excellent. No, not at all. Folks, are there any other announcements or anything that you'd like to share with the club before we have the introduction of our speaker today? Seeing none, Don, who has the honor of introducing our speaker today?
That would be Mr. Michael Tefts, Dr. Tefts.
Perfect. There he is. Dr. Tefts, it's all you, sir.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And this is absolutely my pleasure. The incomparable Coach Matthew needs little, if any, introduction. And that's not just here in Worcester. She's revered and incredibly well respected across the region and the entire state. In her 27th year, yes, 27th year as the Worcester High School swim coach, the inside of the Ellen Shapiro Natatorium literally bears her name, the Chris Matthew Aquatic Center. It's a place where incredibly innovative training occurs on land, in the classroom, and of course, in the water. She trains her athletes like Olympians, but more importantly, more impressively, she grows our students to be hardworking, responsible, and incredibly well-rounded humanitarians. She does this in her role as a swim coach, and for the past 25 years, teaching Spanish at Wooster High School and for the International Baccalaureate program. She's married to some guy named, I think, Steve. She has 3 beautiful children, Madeline, Clay, and Thomas. And I think these days, more than anything, she's enjoying being a grandmother. She's not just a colleague of mine, but I'm incredibly proud to call a sincere friend. Ladies and gentlemen, coach and educator, Chris Matthew.
geez, thank you, Michael. You're getting me all teary-eyed. I'll have to, I'm a crier, but I'll rein myself in. Thank you so much. I appreciate that introduction. It's such a pleasure to be here today. Yeah, and Steve is really, we've been married, Steve and I, for 33 years. So that in itself is a huge accomplishment, as I'm sure many of you know in this day and age. And he's my partner in crime. I could never get through the swim seasons without him, because he virtually takes over all the household duties when swimming season starts. So thank you, Steve. I talked to the Rotary about, hopefully many of you will remember it. It had to be, I feel like, in the early 2000s, when after the Whitney Hooley, or during Whitney Hooley's dominance as a swimmer here. And it was really fun. I think I talked about similar things I'll mention today, but I feel like it's grown a lot, because at that point I was only coaching, except whatever, how many years I was, maybe 10. And I feel like we've really grown as a program. Obviously, our facility is second to none. I'm so thankful to Michael and the administrative team at Wooster for allowing us to have our season this year. I feel like sports have kept these teenagers focused, and it's something that was not changed. We were able to remain doing our sports. And that was the time when the kids felt like things were normal, I feel like. And I'm so thankful to our administration, because I think many other states have been shut down, schools have been shut down, but ours has been, it gave us a real sense of normalcy, and we had a very highly successful season. And this teenage angst is really real. I mean, don't think it's not. And it's been a very difficult year for them. But let me say that I think that really helped the kids who are in sports. It helped them get through this difficult time. And also, when Michael introduced me, I want everyone to know that I'm a teacher first. I think people know that. I love my teaching job so much. I'm not even close to considering retirement because I love it so much and I love the kids. And I
It's
always,
okay. We wouldn't accept your retirement anyway.
oh, I'm getting up there now. Yeah, when you've been doing something 27 years, and then like I coached for about 6 or 7 or 8 years in Pittsburgh, but I'm a teacher first. Coaching's my passion, and swimming's my passion, and I get to coach in something that I'm passionate about, which is so lucky, and I feel so blessed to be able to do that. And I always say I'm not a professional coach. Steve always gets mad when I say that. He's like, you shouldn't say that you are, but I'm not a professional coach. I'm a coach because I get to do it. But I think that that the more successful coaches teach more than they coach, because coaching is teaching. And I feel like because of my teaching experience, it's given me a good platform to be a good coach. One positive thing that came out of Worcester was that we were able to host on the weekend of February 10th, 11th, and 12th. We hosted at the beautiful pool here 3 sectional tournaments. Think about at least probably 1,000 athletes came through and all spread out, COVID protocols in place. And finally, people from all over Northeast Ohio were able to see our beautiful pool. And it was finally recognized as a world-class facility in the state of Ohio among the top, because of the fact that Cleveland State, Akron U, and CT Brandon have been closed the entire year. Now, CT Brandon just opened up. They had remodeled and really got into a lot of tight situations as far as timelines with construction to get their pool done. And it's much nicer there, especially the locker rooms. And so we were able to compete at the state meet this past weekend, but all the other big pools were closed. And so the OHSEA Northeast Board came to Worcester, and luckily, gratefully, our school board and administrators, I know Michael was a huge proponent of having them here. We hosted successfully. And so our kids got to swim their sectional meet at their home pool. They rocked it. Every kid did great. We virtually did best times across the board. And it was run so well that it was great to host sectionals here in Worcester. Our team just competed this past season at CT Brandon. We had 5 girls participate, 1 diver, Brooke Bayless, and 4 girls, 2 Chelps, Gracie and Gretchen, Olivia France, and Audrey Cochran, senior. Julia Hoopman came as an alternate, and Brooke Bayless, she competed in the diving tournament. She finished 10th, was named All Ohio, had a highly successful run. She was, after 2 dives, she was in 21st place, and then just started inching up the scoreboard and did really well. The girls relay finished 16th. They were named All Ohio. They moved from 20th to 16th. We haven't had an All Ohio relay on the girls' side for quite a few years, and that was super exciting, especially for Audrey Cochran, who's a senior, and it just made the weekend really great. Gracie Chelp finished 8th in the 50, making All Ohio, and she is such an impressive sprinter. You know, anyone who knows swimming knows that a start or a turn or a finish can make or break the race. She didn't have the best start ever, and she was in the outside lane, but let me tell you, Gracie Chelp is on the map in Ohio, and she will be the top sprinter to ever come out of Worcester. Next year is going to be a big year for us. Really happy that COVID didn't interrupt her senior year, because she is a force to be reckoned with. The boys, 2 Bouchers, Jaden and Luke Boucher, Aiden Stramfox, and Andrew Glasgow. They finished 20th in the relay. They did a best time. Again, at the state meet this weekend, there were not a lot of best times because I think COVID really affected it. It was didn't feel normally. I know Michael's been there at the state meet. It is so packed. There are usually 3,000 spectators screaming. It is the most incredible venue. And this year there were probably about 200 spectators. Again, lucky to have spectators when a lot of sports events were closed to spectators. And the boys went out with a bang, did a great time, and they were happy to be there. If those names sound familiar to you, those are all soccer stars. They are literally, Jaden Boucher was named the district soccer player of the year. Aiden Glasgow and Luke Boucher, they were all varsity members of the soccer team. I made a quote today in the Daily Record, and of course, I always read my quotes and analyze everything and think I shouldn't have said it that way. But those boys are incredible athletes. They don't swim year round, and to get to the state level in something, when you really do it as just a high school sport and don't dedicate yourself year round is quite impressive. And the boys team, probably more than the girls team, is known for that, where we take a lot of athletes and they are really successful in the pool. On the girls' side, there's probably more athletes that do the summer program and the Y program, but both of them are outstanding groups of young men and women, and I'm so blessed to be a part of their lives. Aiden Stramfox literally swam the relay, ran to the gym, got changed into a soccer outfit, and competed in a soccer tournament right across the field on the AstroTurf at the McKinley High School, and he made it. He didn't. It was seamless. I'm very proud of the culture that we have here at Wooster High School, a program that is one of pride, excellence, and discipline. Discipline involves work ethic. My mission in this swim program is to help prepare these kids for life, as I feel they learn a lot of life lessons, especially having to get up at 5:30 a.m. every day, most days, do 3 to 4 hours of work a day, come and do 3-hour practice on Saturdays. It is a regiment that is second to none here at the high school. The most basic lesson that they learn from hard work is that hard work generates results. And this is the most basic lesson that I think that can go over into all aspects of life. It's really that simple. We also have a Y program that's a huge feeder system for our program, run by Matt Shelf, who's also the aquatics director. The Shelf girls, Emma, Gretchen, and Gracie, literally out of the 400 some points we scored at the OCC meet to win the championship this year, the Shelves contributed about a quarter of those points, because you get 20 points for first place. Gretchen got 2 first place, Grace got 2 first place, Emma was in the top 6 in both her events. So they are a great Worcester name. Lindy Shelf was a very good swimmer in the 90s as well. They're Matt's sister. The Y program has really become a huge feeder system for us. The numbers have grown substantially the last 5 years. I said to Matt 5 years ago, if we don't get the numbers up in the younger kids, we're going to be in trouble as a high school program. And he answered that call, and we've done really well. And all 3 of us, the College of Worcester coach, Rob Harrington, Matt Shelf, and I all run the summer program. And I feel like that also is a huge, huge factor in why we've had success at the high school level. Once the kids are coached by us in the summer, they want to come to the high school and continue and have us as their coach, which I love to hear little 8-year-olds go, Coach Chris, I can't wait to come to high school so I can coach you. So now I have to start saying, well, honey, I'm not sure if when you're 16, hopefully I'll be here, and you never know. So anyway, we've had a lot of success. We've generated 5 All-Americans. To my right, looking up here, there are 5 All-American pictures, and that's a huge testament to our work ethic and our program. I hope we will have more All-Americans in the future. Actually, I know we will. Plenty of All-Highlands. We've had lots of kids compete at the college level. I feel very, very successful, quite frankly, as a coach, when kids want to leave here and move on to the college level. And more importantly, it's a very easy transition when they come from our program to the college program. We have currently 5 kids who are actively participating on college teams. 2 at the College of Worcester, 1 at Bowling Green, 1 at Cleveland State, 1 at ONU, and 1 at Cincinnati. That would be my son, Thomas. He's a freshman this year. When we went and recruited with Tom, went to his recruiting trip with Thomas, he was like, Mom, it's exactly our schedule that we have in high school. It's going to be a piece of cake. And even more importantly, Mom, we don't have to work out. We don't have to get up for a 6 a.m. practice. It's a 7 a.m. practice. And that brought a huge smile to my face, because I'm like, 7 o'clock, man, that is sleeping in. So no issues there. Easy transition. Our swimmers are student athletes. We value academic prowess. We've had this year, Maddie Altman was named a national honor, national merit semifinalist. That is something that's huge, considering she participates in our sport, which takes a lot of their time, and they have to be focused on academia. But they are, I say it and I stand by it, they are student athletes. If they ever have to miss for academics because they've been up, if they text me in the morning and say, I've been up all night studying for a test, that is an excused absence. We never question any of it. And we have one of the highest GPAs in the school. Our program was number 1 last year, girls, boys was second. We are always in the top 1 or 2, because we have excellent students who value their education and their GPAs in our program. What can I say about our pool? It's undeniably one of the best pools in the country, in the state for sure. and we are spoiled. Boy, when we go to other schools, other pools, the kids are like, ugh, I'm like, I know, but we are spoiled. There is, as far as especially the brightness, when you look around, it is so bright. You see all the windows, and any other pool seems dark to us. We were very uncomfortable at the Spire Institute, even though that's a world-class facility. When we had to go to Spire instead of Cleveland State, we had to go out of our comfort zone. Nobody was happy there. They still did perform very well, but it wasn't our pool. And we also get strong community support from all of you, all of everyone, the community, the school, our students, the Daily Record. We're lucky to be in a community where there is a hometown paper. Josh, I have to shout out to Josh McWilliams, who's always tweeting and always supporting our team. And our community is amazing. It really is. And I have to say, when we did the renovation for the pool 2 years ago, we called it the Pool Pride Campaign. I have to say that since we had that campaign, and so many of you and other people in the community donated money to make our pool better and to support our community, it is a new level of pride when I see clients come in here, when I see people who use the pool on a daily basis come in. There is a huge amount of pride. So it was properly named because people do take pride in this facility. We made it look shining, perfect for when we host the section meet, and people were not disappointed. Quickly, what's a typical week look like for one of our swimmers? They have AM practices 4 days a week, 2 dry lands, which is just lifting, calisthenics types of things, and two morning swims. Then they have swimming every day after school from 3 to 5:30. We have a Saturday practice, lifting and swimming 8 to 11. Then 1 or 2 meets thrown in there once the season starts. We have a very familial feel here. Currently, we have 2 Bouchers, 2 Glasgows, 2 Altlands. Next year, we're going to have 3 Chelfs. A lot of kids, it's a very family sport because it requires a lot of dedication. And I love it when family members are on the same, get to share the same team. Next year, we'll have 2 more sisters coming. And it's also fun because my staff of Jen Kuiper, Matt Shelf, John Glasgow, and myself, we've all coached our kids. And that's a really great field. We are swimming families. We love swimming, and it's fun. I'm now on my 2nd generation of kids. I'm currently coaching 2 boys. Their fathers are young men who I coached my first year, Chuck Neihart and Adam Briggs. Both their sons swim for me. They're lovely kids. They're hard workers, just like their parents, and that's really fun. Simply, though, that means I'm getting old, and I've been around a long time. I'm often asked, can times keep dropping? Can swimming keep this? How is swimming continuing to get faster? And it is. I just witnessed a sophomore from Toledo St. Francis in the 100-yard butterfly break the state record as a sophomore. He was incredibly fast, and he's a sophomore. But what's changed? What's changed since the 70s, 80s when I swam? Goggles, suits, technical suits, technique, nutrition, dry land, just to name a few. The underwater dolphin kick is now being called the 5th stroke. So the 4 strokes are butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke, and freestyle. There is a 5th stroke called the underwater dolphin kick. The stronger you are underwater, the faster you're going to be. Virtually every elite athlete, including Michael Phelps, has an incredible underwater dolphin kick. The boys, since it was the boys session, the boys and I watched as this young man from Toledo St. Francis did 6 strokes of butterfly only to get to the wall. So he did 24 butterfly strokes to break that record because he stays underwater for 15 yards, which is the legal limit. You have to be up by the 15 yards, but the kid came up and he crushed his time. It's so fast. Anyone who knows physics, that wouldn't be me. I wasn't a science student, but if you're underwater in a streamlined position with no friction going against you, you have no water coming at you. You're smooth, and you're doing a dolphin kick, which is very sharp, feet together. You are propelling yourself through the water physically, scientifically, as fast as you can go. It's the proven fastest position to be in. And if you take advantage of this, you are going to be an incredibly fast swimmer, which is happening. I'm going to have Grace walk down here in a little bit. Grace, come over here real fast to say hello. This is Grace Chell. She's working at the pool right now. Say hi, Grace. Hi. Grace is not super, she's not super loud. She's a quiet young lady. But let me tell you, she makes a statement in the pool. She had a great weekend, and she works at the pool here as a lifeguard. She was part of the winning relay. It's like when you have a team in place, you guys all are businessmen. Most of you are educators, business people. When you have a team in place, and you're going for something and the last person on your team is the person who has to make or break it, this is the girl you want on your relay. Believe you me. She went from 6th place in our heat to 3rd. She did it at district. She did it at OCC. She did it at sectionals. She is like, if you're a betting person, which of course I'm not either, you're going to put all your money on Grace Chelp that she's going to bring that relay home. So congratulations, Grace. All Ohio, Grace Chelp. Yay, Grace. Okay. And I have a video that I was going to start with. I'm going to share my screen. And then I guess if you want to ask me questions, hope I didn't talk too long. I'm going to share my screen. This is a video. My nephew, John, was state champion in the 500 free in Pennsylvania in 2010-ish. And he went to the University of Notre Dame to swim for them. One of his classmates made this. Michael's seen this because I show this to the parents when we have meetings, although we didn't have a meeting this year. And because Michael's darling daughter, Anna, was a freshman last year on my team. And I know, like, this never gets old. I could watch this movie 10 times a day. It's only 3 minutes. So enjoy this. This was made by a Notre Dame swimmer who actually qualified for the Olympic trials in breaststroke. Here it is. I'm going to share my screen. I know if you guys go all on mute, I think this, maybe the host is doing that. I'm going to share. Okay. I want to share. Let me see. Okay, let's try this. Hold shit.
Take your time, Wolf.
I know. I'm like, oh, this stresses me out. Okay, it says hold shift to select multiple windows. That's what I need to do. Hold on. Hold shift. All right, I'm gonna go try Google Chrome because I have it's open on my Chrome.
Yep.
Justin, it says open system preferences.
Let's see here.
So normally if I share my screen, it says open a tab and I open the tab where my film is on, where my movie is.
Yeah, so can you mouse over to that tab, Chris?
Yes.
Okay, when you do that, does it activate it now if you go back to share screen?
Let's see. Let me see. This is it. All right, so now let me try. That's a good idea. So let me try share my screen. It's just, I don't want to share my desktop, correct?
You can't, well, if it's on your desktop, you can, yes, you could.
It's not, so it's just on a tab.
Okay, it should be an option for you. Is it a
Yeah,
YouTube?
it says, all right, let me try. Oh no, let me try. Share. Let me just show, I'll open my system preferences.
Okay.
Because that's what it's, here we go. What's that say? Zoom. Okay. So I just have to grant access for Zoom. There we go.
Oh boy.
Not able to record the contents of your screen until it is clicked. That's fine. You can choose to put Zoom or now, do it on your, okay. Let's try that. Maybe it worked. All right. Share my screen. Oh yeah.
No.
Oh, I am technologically savvy. Not, but that worked. Okay, here we go. It's only 3 minutes. Here we go. It's just really good. I enjoy it every time. All right, Justin, Don, can you see my screen?
Yes.
It says swimmer's mentality.
Yep.
All right, here we go.
And can go 3 days without water to survive.
Hold on, let's start over.
They say a man can go 3 days without water to survive. Clearly, they have never met a swimmer. Albert Einstein was quoted by saying that insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Well, I guess you can call us crazy.
Can you guys?
Every morning, we get up at 5 a.m. to jump in a cold pool and then look at a black line for miles. And with this repetition comes progress. We push ourselves every day trying to get better. We reek of chlorine, our hair is fried, and we couldn't be happier about that. There is no fame in swimming. In the grand scheme of things, your greatest accomplishments in the sport go unnoticed even by your closest friends. There is no money or professional league in swimming. Just you and the pool. That being said, swimmers are not driven by external motivation. In fact, you cannot swim unless you're fueled by the strongest internal motivation. When that alarm goes off in the morning, you pull yourself out of bed because you know that your work today will pay off in the future. You know that all the sweat and tears were worth it. They don't make movies about swimming. You don't read about swimming in the newspapers. And unless it's an Olympic year, some don't even consider swimming a sport. Clearly, they have never witnessed it before. Why do we do this? Why do we put ourselves through agonizing practices day in and day out just for one big meet a year? We do this for ourselves. We do this because this is who we are. Swimming is not just a sport for us, it is a way of life. If there's a crossroads, we always take the path of most resistance. We look for hard work, not run away from it. We are a unique breed of human. Those who consider swimming an individual sport has never done it before. When you race, you know you're doing it for more than yourself. You're doing it for your whole team. With each stroke, you carry the weight of 30 other people as you strive to be the first to the wall. And that weight is a burden you couldn't imagine your life without. After we have swum thousands of laps for hundreds of hours of our year, we race for only a few minutes. We hear the buzzer go off, and we pour our heart and soul into that race, knowing that every morning practice, every grueling late session, every social event we've sacrificed was worth it. As we push our bodies to the point of complete exhaustion, we race to the wall. You're not just racing the person next to you, you're racing the clock, which represents more than just time. It represents generations of swimmers who've already done what you're doing now, and it represents the next wave of racers that will come after you. You see the wall approaching, you hold your breath. You give every ounce of energy you have left in your body. You give one last lunge and look back at the clock. And then it's over.
Have to turn off my, okay, there you go. I love that. Like I said, I could watch that. There's another one I show them too about what swimmers do. And
My life and my career was not a smooth, easy road.
I have to turn it off.
I
Where's
had
my
a lot of
Zoom?
ups and downs.
Oh,
I went through a lot of tough times.
After 2012, I fell into
there he
a
is,
major
greatest
state
swimmer of all
depression.
time. Oh, I can't.
That was probably the hardest fall for me. I didn't want to be in the sport anymore. I wasn't alive anymore. I just.
There we go. Yikes.
Fantastic. Nicely done.
Thank you. Thank you. I enjoy that a lot. It's very fun.
You can tell you definitely have some passion behind you, Chris, and some energy, right?
Well, I do. When I lose that energy, that's called retirement.
That's right. Anybody have any questions for Chris?
This is more of a comment. I'm a swimming official, and I've had the honor to officiate a lot of the Worcester swim meets. And I will tell you, after seeing a lot of different coaches across the board, Chris is amazing. Her energy, her enthusiasm, the support that she shows for those kids is just fantastic. And I give her all the props. It's a hard sport. It's a long season. And she has so much energy. And something I don't think a lot of people know is that she actually gets in the pool and swims with these kids and beats a lot of them still. So go, Chris.
Those days are no, I know. Thank you, Jamie.
Margot, you got a question?
Yes, I do. Chris, David coached a lot in different, mostly soccer and some other things, and he said what he was really looking for was the assemblage of the team sport mentality and teaching the kids to be leaders and to help others and not to be bullies and all that. But he had kids who were all together sort of in scrums, you could talk to them all at once and sort of get them together at once. How are you encouraging that wonderful team spirit when everybody's underwater most of the time?
I know. Well, a lot of time in the locker room, and this is something we lost this year because we had to limit the locker room time. And I think, I'm in there getting dressed in the morning. I have my office and, because I swim with them in the morning. So when I hear their conversations, that's where a lot of the camaraderie is. But we preach team. I really preach to the captains to keep this team spirit alive. And if you were to come for an OCC meet, that's when our team shows its true unity. They're behind more than any other meet. They value that team effort, and it takes a team effort to win a meet like the OCC. So, I mean, I just think I just have to continually impress on them that everyone needs to be included. Try to do some things in the pool and outside the pool. We've been in the past, we do some social events. We have a team dinner once a week, which again, we couldn't have this year. So again, this year was difficult because those social parts are so important for creating that team unity. But we did it in the locker rooms, and we did it because we had smaller teams because we had a limited number per lane. So I only really had 15, 16 girls and 18 boys. And last year I had like 27 girls. So it helped this year that it was smaller, and I feel like they were closer, and the kids do a good job. It's all about how the kids portray, how we want to be thought of as, and just constantly preaching like a parent. You have to remind them what's correct, what's not correct. But the team aspect is very crucial with how you're feeling and how successful you're going to be.
Ron, you have a question?
Yeah, Chris, your son Thomas got to Division I this year with Cincinnati. How has he found that experience compared to his high school days?
The big difference with Thomas is that he was the leader. He led every practice. Like after his freshman year, nobody was ever ahead of him in practice. So it's hard. It's hard to always be the leader because he likes to race. So I always said, if he were to race someone, like if he in every practice got to race people who were faster than he is, it's going to be beneficial. And it is. He loves his team. He loves competing with them because there are so many faster kids than he is. But as far as the workload, some of the practices, like probably intervals, were faster, like doing hundreds on 1 minute versus 105. But he's really transitioned well. And again, they do a dry lane program very similar to ours. Course, I think it's easier almost to swim at college as far as the course load, because in college you have a couple morning classes, a couple afternoon classes, some classes Monday, Friday, some classes Tuesday, Thursday. So there's more time for napping and recovering in between. Like what you think of a kid who wakes up at 5 a.m., packs their lunch and breakfast of the day, comes to practice, swims an hour and a half, goes to school for 7 hours, comes back to the pool for 2.5 hours, goes home, eats, goes to bed, studies, goes to bed. So they have more free time during the day, which is actually beneficial, because Thomas mentioned that, like, Mom, I usually take a nap after morning practice. I said, yeah, I did the same thing because you have the time. But it's with Gracie. Gracie's lucky that she swims. She leads the lane and she is ahead a lot of the times, but she still has fast boys that she can train with, that are sometimes faster than she is. But believe you me, she's pretty fast when she trains. She leads the lane. She's often in the lead.
Michael Steiner, you had a question there, sir?
Yeah, Chris, I was really surprised when I heard about the size of the schools that Wooster High School competes with when they go to the state events. Could you share that with the rest of the group, because there's a significant variance in.
Yes, thank you, Mike. There in swimming now. There's a Division I and a Division II. So we compete just like probably cross country. I think cross country is pretty similar because I hear them talking about the Boardman region, and the Boardman region is tough in track and field and cross country. But yeah, we compete against the Hudsons, the Firestones, who have huge public schools. We're a very small Division I school, and we're like probably, I think we usually vary between 30 and 45 kids over the Division II school. So yes, and let me tell you though, and Jamie Parsons will agree, Division II has some really top kids, but I think at the bottom, when you get to the 24th, like between the 16th and the 24th qualifier, I mean, several of our kids would have made it to the Division II state meet in their events. So it is more competitive, but that's okay. We like the competition. I think it's an honor to qualify for a state meet, whether it's Division I or II. And congratulations to Jamie. Her son did really well, Bailey, and did really well at the district meet and the state meet. But yeah, there is a difference. We always joke that if we were just a little smaller, we could be Division II, but we're not complaining. We can compete with the best in the state, as we've proven, and it is what it is.
Does anybody else have a question? Don?
Justin, if I could just say something real quick. Sure. Both of my boys, Tyler participated all 4 years and Aiden's participating now. They had never swam before their freshman year. They had never swam competitively. Chris, I've never experienced a culture in a high school program, and I think for all of us being Worcester residents, we should be incredibly proud of this culture that's been established, where my kid didn't even know how to jump off the block the first year, and Chris is helping them and staying after. I would sit outside that pool an hour after practice because seniors and juniors are helping them learn the techniques. And that's just a culture. It's not about, hey, you're going to take my spot. It's that when you're better, we're all better. And what Chris and that program have done for my kids' work ethic and help them in every area of their lives, I really can't say enough.
Thank you, James. You've got incredible boys, so they're exceptional. But like I said, when Margot asked about the team aspect, it is. I take very little credit. I give so much credit to the kids, the other coaches, because we'll stay behind if a kid says, can I work on my star for an extra 15 minutes? But I agree really a lot on the boys' side that the last few years, they really led by example and really would do anything to help their friends. They wanted their friends. My son wanted all the soccer kids on the swim team because they were his friends, and they would do anything to get him there. And I agree, James. I mean, I will give the kids like almost complete credit for that, because they're great, generous kids, and it is not competitive, not cutthroat. Like, I don't want that kid to be fast because he'll steal my spot. So thank you for saying that, because the kids I'm blessed with great kids and great parents.
Don, you had a question?
Hey, Chris. What makes a great high school swim athlete? I mean, physically, but I guess probably more internally. What makes them a truly rise to the occasion?
Honestly, it's ones who can intrinsically get motivated to get out of bed early, to face very hard workouts every day. But again, I mean, we have Gracie's not big. She's not a big young woman. I mean, the girl who was next to her at States easily outweighed her by 70 pounds, was taller than her by 5 inches. But so if you are a good athlete, that helps a lot. But also in swimming, it is a lot of hard work. Like, your work ethic will propel you. And James will speak for that. Tyler couldn't even put his head in the water practically as a freshman. And if you come and work, because we do have a lot of hours, we practice a lot. It's not like we just practice an hour after school every day. And if they dedicate themselves, they will get physically fit. And the fitter you are, the faster they are, and they will become, we do spend a fair amount of time on technique. We do a lot of drill and kicking. But really, those are all the aspects that make a swimmer great. I mean, obviously natural talent plays in, as it does in any sport, but I've had kids who've had maybe are not that athletic, but through their work ethic and their discipline and their dedication have become very, very solid swimmers. But there usually is an element of natural ability as well. But you can take a boy, because boys have muscles more about, physically they're different than girls. And I mean, we have had a lot of success with physically able boys to become good swimmers. So.
Chris, there's a question that came in here talking about, do you feel as if the swim program has been a driver for some open enrollment throughout the county too?
Definitely. We have definitely I've had girls, not recently, but in probably the early 2000s, Whitney Hooley came from Apple Creek. I had several good swimmers from Oroville. Right now, currently, I don't know that we have anyone who's open enrolled, but it has come in. Definitely the girls from Oroville in the early 2000s, mid 2000s. Whitney Hooley came from Apple Creek. So those are the ones that I can think of. A couple kids came from Fredericksburg, but I think it does help. It does help. We encourage that because it is open enrollment. I'd love to get kids from other schools.
Absolutely.
We're going to make a concerted effort to really focus on Triway this next year.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, is that right?
We've had Triway wanted to bring, I don't know. They brought in, we were going to do something with Triway. I had the boy from Dalton who was in the IB programs. He open enrolled just so he could swim. We had a girl from Loudonville this year who trained with us. She was outstanding. She made the state meet, but she didn't open enroll. And again, I know what it means to be part of a home school, and I don't encourage kids to leave their home school. But if they're not happy with their home school, certainly Worcester has so much to offer academically that it's usually not hard to get a person who from one of the smaller county schools to come to Worcester with its academic program. So
we don't make anybody wear purple.
Yeah,
absolutely not. It's got to be blue. We are blue and gold.
You should.
Yeah, that might be a little dig at Don. And then is Nate Chindewolf, is he on the line too, right? Right, Dr. Tess?
I'm hoping so.
Exactly.
Well, Chris, hey, thank you so much for your time. You were running around. You had a class at 12:36 that you were able to move. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me, Justin. I appreciate it.
And your passion and dedication, and you can just, your energy, and then the unsolicited comments about how you run the program. Chris,
job well done, bud.
I'm very, very humbled by all those opinions. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Folks, wrapping up the day, a couple of announcements. First off, programs like this that were quality, if you'd like to see any past programs, those are all now being uploaded at our YouTube channel. So if you missed any past presentations, feel free to go to YouTube, just type in Wooster Rotary and they will come up. Also, the allocation of funds for our 100th year anniversary community projects, the Memorial Tree Grove, the Founders Tree Grove up at Oak Hill Park, along with the community flag, will be on the agenda for the board meeting in March. So if there's any comments, as far as comments or concerns, now would be the time to send those to our attention so we can take those into consideration. But we do plan on moving forward with those projects. Next week, we have a slate of classification speeches. So some of our newest members will be making presentations about themselves, both personally and professionally. So be ready for that on March 8th. Is there anything else for the good of the order before we adjourn today? Hearing none, folks, everybody have a great rest of the week. Thank you so much. Take care.